Welcome back to JMC Live. I am your host, Jeremy Caverly. Now, this next topic that I got, it's really going to make a lot of people mad. And I'm just going to go ahead and play this audio clip. It's like 3.5 minutes. I'm going to have it recorded this time. If I can get the audio to work on it.
Say the city of King violated the Constitution by allowing the Christian flag to fly here above the city's Veteran Memorial. That flag came down today. Fox 6's Chad Tucker joins us from that memorial in Central Park in King. Chad, how did this come about?
Well, Neil, one person contacted the group back in mid-August who had sent letters to the city threatening lawsuits. Now, veterans and nonprofits and people in the community helped pay for the Veterans Memorial that was built here on city property back in 2004. Now, that's when the flag went up. Today, it came down.
We thank all the people who sacrificed with the life of their country.
From a veteran
That's a shame, man.
to the descendants of veterans.
Just to see something like this happen, I mean, it's terrible.
Many came to the Veterans Memorial in King to see what was no longer there. The King City Council voted Wednesday night to remove the Christian flag from the Veterans Memorial after two groups, including the ACLU, both representing one town resident, threatened to slap the city with a lawsuit, claiming the flag violated the separation of church and state.
It was heart-wrenching for our council. Good Christian people, every one of them.
Mayor Jack Warren says it was the toughest decision the council has ever had to make, balancing faith with the enormous cost to fight a lawsuit that some estimate would have cost taxpayers between $200,000 to $300,000 to fight.
They did not see how that they could put that burden on our taxpayers' back. In their heart, they wanted to leave that flag up and fight it.
I believe they felt like they were held hostage by the ACLU.
Pastor Kevin Broyhill of Calvary Baptist Church in King joined about 30 others at the city council meeting. He believes the community would have backed the city council financially in fighting the lawsuit.
I believe that had we been asked, had we been talked to, I believe they would have seen a mobilization among the people, among the churches and the citizens of King to stand behind them in that fight.
It's a fight
Even if you know you're going to lose the fight, at least make a stand.
many in town are willing to make.
It's the fight that counts. It's standing up for something.
And I know the churches are, and I know some of our citizens are, but I think when they understand that we just couldn't afford to fight this battle. Is the battle over? I won't say that.
So that was part of the Fox News 8 WGHP removal of the Christian flag. King, looks like North Carolina, at the Veterans Memorial of Center Park. Sorry for that excess burst of air. We're waving the hands across the audio. I'm sorry if you heard that little burst and the door shut. So it looked like it was one person made a complaint and the ACLU got involved, and then $300,000 is what they're going to have to fight, and they just didn't have the money. So the flag has been flown at the memorial since the day it was built in 2004 and was taken down this Thursday. Hearing stories like this make me very upset. It makes me angry that there's all sorts of other flags you can fly, but you can't fly the Christian flag because of separation of church and state. Even though there are Christians involved in all levels of military, we still have chaplains, but you can't have the flag up. I don't understand the two pieces. It doesn't make sense to me, but I guess it's just the way it goes sometimes. I think it's scary. And honestly, the society is only going to get worse. They're going to find more ways to remove Christian material. They're going to find more ways to continue to change and redefine what people think is truth and what is not truth. And if you think that we live in a world that does not get corrupt, and you need to open your eyes to see what is going on. There are so many things happening and so much going on that it's just too hard to keep track of. There's just too much information. and it's getting really scary. Another thing that's going on in San Francisco, hackers make 57,000 booby trap websites weekly. According to Panda Labs, they found that out on Thursday. And speaking of that, there was also a Christian website earlier this week that was hacked by a Muslim faction. And Stacey Hart posted the article earlier about this, and I was looking at it, and he posted like a jihad image and referring to scatological things. Christians are being directly attacked. And we're not saying these mean, horrific things. We're just saying we're praying for you. We love you. We wish you would serve the God that we believe in. But when people want to go and directly break websites and saying all these mean things about other people, it doesn't set well with me at all. I think that as long as Christians continue to move forward in the right direction and continue to allow their eyes, ears, and mouths to be covered by the blood of Christ, maybe when we submit, and only when we submit and get ourselves out of the way, can we keep from that happening. There are Christians out there, the Quran burning, that's very bad. There are Christians out there that just don't accept some kinds of people, and they don't know how to work with them. And I know there's one thing about telling people to repent, but how do you do it, and why do you do it, and if you're angry behind it. Good example of it, and I'm not going to play it. Seventh Day Slumber was attacked at a Christian concert recently. As you guys know, they have piercings and tattoos, and personally, I don't agree with piercings and tattoos. But there was this group of individuals outside their concert with picket signs saying, "You're not following God." And the whole time this got videotaped, this guy that said he was following the true God would scream at the lead singer, telling him he was a sinner and he was gay and he was queer and he's going to hell. And the guy had no chance to talk. All he could do was listen to this guy scream. Next to the lead singer of Seventh Day Slumber was this woman, this little girl, not little, she's probably a teenager, who said, "If I did not come to this concert tonight, regardless if they had tattoos or piercings or not, whether that's sinful or not, this man delivered a message at the end of his song set talking about Jesus Christ loves me and will accept me. And to be honest, I was going to go home that night and kill myself." The 16-year-old girl is trying to share this story with these picketers that are saying Seventh Day Slumber is going to hell. And she's saying, if I did not hear the message of the gospel through this tattooed, piercing person, that girl would have went home and killed herself. And she said, I didn't really believe in God until I heard the message from this man. It took this girl that was sharing this message to the picketed people to stop them for a second. When they walked away, they just continued to yell at the band members because they had piercings, that they're going to go to hell, that they must be gay, blah, 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 blah. I don't agree with that. You don't hear me going around screaming at people and telling people they're wrong in such a manner. I don't agree with that. I have friends that have piercings. I have friends that have tattoos. They know where I stand, but I can still, talk to them, and some of them are my friends, and some of them are Christians. I look at Jesus. He was accused of hanging out with sinners, not standing on the side of the road with a sign saying, "Hey, sinner, quit being a sinner." It doesn't work that way. Right here in Ohio, and this will probably bring my wife back in the office, down in Waverly, Ohio, my pastor was telling us about how a group of individuals were picketing signs on the side of the road saying, "You're going to go to hell." I don't know very many people who stopped that weren't angry, that weren't mad. It doesn't work that way. It never will work that way. It never will bring to a stronger, more substantive moment. Now let's change to something else. The poverty rate in America is up to 14.3% last year, the highest since 1994, according to the census. But within this, there are more Christians responding to the gospel. And there's a reason for that. When everything falls apart, the true Christians who exist will stand up, and they'll be around, and they will share a message. And those that aren't really following God, when all hell breaks loose, you end up seeing a complete change. Now, how many of these people are going to remain Christians? I don't know. Between 2008 and 2009, people without health insurance went from 16.7% and 50.7 million. You know, Love Inc. in the name of Christ. It's right here in Ohio. They helped me when I was in Texas. They would take us to the doctor, help my grandmother and things like that because I had no transportation. I'm 15, 16 years old. I didn't have any money. But they opened 15 new affiliates in the first 2 quarters of 2010. It has over 156, over 9,000 Christian churches and 7,000 community-based organizations in 30 states. According to Love Inc. affiliates, this economy has put many people into poverty that were not there before. They are the new poor. We're experiencing dramatic increases in the number of calls for assistance, an increase in new communities throughout our nation who want to open Love Inc. Now, I personally called Love Inc. right here in Ohio, and what has gone on, it's just not, there's just no one able to help. There's nothing going on. There's no money. That was one of the things they said. I think I called on a Wednesday or Thursday, and what happened, and they said, please call back at the beginning of next week as we have more funding to assist you. If you have a non-financial situation, please call at a certain time. I believe that Christians need to step up in this today's society with the things that are going on, because too many people just don't understand, you know, what exactly is going on and how things are going to happen. I believe society as a whole is going to continue to fall apart. It's going to continue to degrade until it's just always going to continue to get bad. But at the same time, no matter how bad things get, no matter how dark and grim this gets, God still gives us an opportunity to make a difference, to change the whole outlook of who we are and what we're about. When we come back for the break, I'll share with some more good news, some more things that are happening in the world. And some of this might shock you, but if it don't, then maybe it'll wake you up. Be right back.